This video will only find someone who has lost all control in life. I manifest that this video finds only someone who has lost all control in life. How do you know that this video is meant for you? If your thoughts are ranging anywhere across the spectrum of frustration, turbulence, fears, or past painful conclusions, a lot of what ifs, and a lot of hurt that somewhere sits very deep in your heart. If your thoughts keep evolving and revolving around a sense of defeat and hurt, and if your emotions keep revolving around a sense of resentment against life and anger and hopelessness and hurt and doubt and pain, if you find yourself telling yourself that you are at your worst and you do not know a way out, and things just end up getting at the same place, no matter how hard you try, no matter what route you take, you always end up at the same place of dejection and hurt, and those same painful experiences where you have no idea how it got to that point despite you having been giving your best to it. If you find yourself at such a crossroad where you have no control over anything that is happening outside in the world or inside of you, in your thoughts and in your emotions, and you are completely and utterly lost, then this video is meant for you. If you are not in that place, congratulations, you may leave the video. But if unfortunately you find yourself at such a place, then I am going to speak to you, channeling what the higher power has to say to you. So, yes, maybe what has happened with you is you had certain goals and you had a plan, and you thought you were going to achieve the plan in the way that you decided or that the world told you that you should, and you set out with that goal and a mechanism of reaching to that place, and you put an effort and you sacrificed and compromised and you did what the world tells us to do. You grinded and you hustled and you saw people doubting you and you pushed through and you thought you'll end up at a good place, and you were hopeful and all bright and light and excited about what was to follow. But then things did not go the way you planned them to go. And for some reason, even after giving your honest 100% effort to it, you find yourself in a place where the picture is not all rosy and you are hurt. And you chased and you are hurt. And you chased in a lot of ways, and most of them seem to fail, and nothing seems to work anymore. One thing that all that pain and defeat has taught you is that you no longer have any control over anything, which is driving your brain crazy, because our brain is not used to function in uncertainty. It wants all the things under control. It wants to know the past, the present, and the future. It functions only on a predefined set of instructions which it holds to be true. It is not used to function in uncertainty, and maybe that's the reason why you're all frustrated and scared. So, this is what has been happening so far. This is the past, your past, as I spoke about it. Your present is a place full of turbulence where tumultuous events rock your head and you no longer have any sense of understanding. You're not even trying to make sense of much things. You just keep swinging between thoughts and associated emotions. And at the core of it sits a despair and hopelessness, where you no longer know why you are here, or is there anything that can still be changed, or whether you should take the courage to push for things to change, or whether you should just sit back and let it be because you have tried and you have tried enough to gain the wisdom of understanding that it is not working anymore. If this is your present and that was your past, then I am here to tell you how the future is going to look like. At this place, you are full of triggers, you are full of fear, you are full of what ifs, and you are crying out to something that you know can save you. You are crying out to something, you're calling for help. Maybe even wondering if there is something above which could bring you back to normalcy. And that is how you keep crossing the days, making it through the days, wondering if you should touch back that which has been gone, put in more effort, try to pull the pieces together to somehow make the picture look presentable to the world or to yourself. And that is where you sit as of now. Maybe looking up at the sky, hoping for something better, and maybe lost in within the walls of your house, where your soul desperately tries to call for help. And if you made such a cry, then let me tell you, something above heard you. Something, the slightest possibility of, the slightest hope in your heart that made you think that maybe there is some God out there who could help you. That slightest positivity heard you. And this is a message from them to you. I understand that things are not going the way you thought you would want them to go. Maybe your picture is a lot different from the picture that others present. But at the core of it, I want to tell you that the reason why things took the turn that they took is because you are supposed to be cleansed. All the triggers are supposed to be dealt with, and you are supposed to be made new. That's the core reason. That is why things have ended up the way they have ended up. You have cried out to God, and now you are hoping and expecting for something, for some reason to continue your existence, somewhere wondering deep if, when none of it makes sense, why are you even here? And you've cried out to God in all that purity. And I want you to understand that God is close to your heart. So He would heal the heart first. He will clean it first. He will He will very beautifully and with uttermost softness and gentleness lovingly take out those triggers, those what if, that fear which is very deeply rooted, that very fear which was driving you. It was not peace that was driving you, it was fear that was driving you to do all the things that you did. It was a fear of losing things, it was a fear of getting abandoned, it could be a fear of not making it up to the mark, it could be a fear of losing the things that you hold dear to yourself. It could be a fear that made you put in so much effort to escape from something, when in reality you were not escaping from external things, you were not trying to avoid or mend external things. It was a feeling very deeply rooted inside of you and associated with so much pain that it took the form of a trigger, and all the efforts that your brain put in were to deal with that trigger, to somehow escape it. I want you to understand that the way you have been approaching things was your brain trying to figure out a way to deal with that something which is very deeply rooted in your heart, and the brain is incapable of doing it because it is a whole different thing. It's a machine. Our heart is not a machine. So you tried and tried and tried and tried and tried and tried to deal with that trigger through whatever little information you had inside your head, whatever pathway you thought was correct. And it did not work out because it was never meant to work out, because that is not how it works out. And you cried out to God at a point where you understood that you can no longer deal with things. And He is closer to your heart, so He heard your heart. And now He will start cleaning it, He will start mending it, He will start taking the broken pieces out and planting newer things. And it could hurt, it could frighten you, it could scare you, it could trigger things in you, but that's the very point of all that experience. You might have to go through certain emotions repeatedly for them to dissipate and vanish. And once you get to the core of that trigger, it'll go apart, it'll fall apart, it'll be gone, and you'll be shocked how that happened. You would not even be consciously doing it. This uncertainty, the period of uncertainty and unsafety that you are in, this is what the universe specializes in utilizing. This period of uncertainty will take you to a place where you will continuously go through all your triggers to a point where drop by drop you'll dissipate it. You might even dissipate it tide in tidal tsunami kind of waves. Could be anything. And you'll purge all that negativity out. And these interior changes will take time. So don't wage a war against God, saying, I have already lost so much and now you're making me go through all these negative emotions. The very point of you having lost all of that was to take you to a place where you could feel those negative emotions, because it was exactly those negative emotions that you were trying to avoid by distracting yourself with work, by trying to mend it. At the core of all those efforts sat some triggers, sat some painful emotions, and your brain was trying to use a path to mend it. And now God will mend it, because from the very beginning, God was meant to mend it. The universe was meant to mend it. So now interior changes will take place, and you might have to work through fear, you might have to work through frustration, you might have to work through turbulence, you might have to work through resentment, you might have to work through control issues, you might have to work through surrendering, you might have to work through trust, you might have to work through patience, you might have to work through believing and trusting the process. And you'll do it, because that's the very point. That's the only way of making it out of that cycle. And it is going to leave you enriched and better off than most people that you are now seeing and wondering why they are not in a place like you. It will make you richer in character. It will make you someone that is a lot different from all the people who are dealing with the same triggers but don't find themselves in a place where you find yourself. They are also stuck. It's just that you are so full of tears and triggers that you cannot see it, and that they cannot see it either. They are doing exactly what you've been doing. It's just that God has not decided to touch them yet. So, this is what will follow: going through negativity, emptying yourself out of that negativity. And how will you end up? You'll end up new. remember, and I want you to fully and completely accept it, even if you are doubting it, even if you're thinking, like, oh, what does she know about what I have lost? If you're thinking, like, what does anyone know? They have People keep trying to tell me positive things. I have been through a phase where I was trying to hunt for optimism to push myself through all of that. Maybe this is yet another video where someone is trying to manipulate me into thinking about certain things when they are just trying to make money. Maybe you would be somewhere thinking that the world is out there to just utilize you, use you, and abuse you to fill their stomachs. Maybe you are so full of doubt. Maybe you're like a frightened kitten who is just unyielding and unwilling to cater to any hand that approaches it, to cure it, to help it, to love it. And if you find yourself in such a place, I am here to tell you that softness and empathy and compassion is something that is earned through that phase. I've been through it. I have been through a lot of negativity, and that has gotten me to a point where I can understand where you are and I can speak to you and I know what is to follow. You'll end up new, you'll end up fresh, you'll end up perfect. Only a vessel, only and only a vessel that has been emptied out can be refilled by someone who has something better to fill you with. I repeat, only a vessel that has been emptied out can be refilled with something that has, someone better has. So if you think you cannot fill yourself up, know that you are not meant to fill yourself up now, not anymore. You've been emptied out despite trying to resist it, but you have been emptied out. So now all you can do is to accept that you will be filled with something better. You will be filled with something better. Hold on to that hope even when you find yourself somewhere in a place struck by destruction. Hold on, hold on. See what happens. Just see what happens. I am not trying to tell you to hunt for trust from somewhere and hold on to that trust. I totally understand that at this point there's nothing left inside of you. Maybe not even the urge to continue, but still, the one that emptied you out will refill you. All you have to do is just see. Just see. You will find yourself automatically, and through uncertainty and through all that uncomfort, you'll find yourself a new person. You'll see yourself getting lighter. You'll see your heart getting lighter. You'll see those triggers working out all by themselves, because that's the very purpose of you meeting those triggers. So you'll be emptied out, and then your heart will be healed, and then you will be refilled. So just see what happens. Don't try to hunt for faith or trust or hope or optimism, or try to motivate yourself, or try to touch the things that have fallen apart. Just continue breathing, continue living, continue waking up, continue going to bed, continue drinking water, continue eating food, and you'll see things work out all by themselves. The pieces did not fall into place the way you wanted them to fall into, because those pieces were meant to fall in a way that you are incapable of seeing at this point, and in a better way than what your brain thought. So continue waking up, continue making it through the day, continue going to bed, continue drinking water, continue living, continue breathing, continue looking up at the sky and see what happens. Continue to see what happens, and you'll end up in a magical place. That's all I have to say. Best of luck. There is someone out there who's got you, alright? Even if you think there's nothing out there, I would want to remind you that there is something out there holding on to you, holding on to your life, holding on to everything that you think no one is holding on to anymore. And the fact that this video made it to you is the proof. So let's see.